My name is Michael of the Code Review team, and today I'll be looking at how I am looking at mapping the existing epics towards our jobs to be done framework. So, jobs to be done frameworks kind of breaks down um, the whole experience into different jobs, and what I'm planning to do is trying to align that to the overall vision so that we can ladder things from the bottom up and top down. So, here goes. Um, the epic that I was looking on there is our category vision. And in the long run, I see the vision being more reflective of the jobs to be done, and perhaps that's our giant categories and different epics in there. But at the moment, our vision has many, many epics in there, and that's totally fine. Um, so in order to map this, I kind of took all of these epics that are still open. Anything that's closed is not part of this exploration right now. So I opened it up, and as you can see, there's many epics here. There's about 40 plus epics in here, and our jobs to be done can be condensed down to looking at these small jobs, things that need things to identify that needs my attention, gathering context around the code review, examining and reviewing the changes themselves, assuring that all the changes meet any acceptance criteria or rules, communications, the back and forth between discussions between code changes, suggestions, and how to apply them, whether that be in product, in comments, in threads, in reviews, in emails, and then eventually concluding the review. So that's like finalizing it by leaving a review, setting it to auto merge, and rebasing if needed. That all lives in there. I think one job that I think was missing here that we'll look at re-adding is the preparing the code review. So setting things to draft, choosing who my reviewers are. So that could be something that be added up there, and that's what I kind of did here. So what I did was kind of broke down all these small jobs into columns here. So I'll go through that slowly. And to help me stack rank the work, what I did was I took one of these tiles, and you can actually flip them, and it allows for better stacking for this exercise. So let's go through this. We have prepared the review, identify a merge request that needs my attention, gather the context of the merge request, review changes, verify, communicate, and conclude. So as you can see, that's how the columns were created. I added a post-it notes for myself here to understand, what is gathering the context in my opinion, like loading performance. So, if you want to get context, you want the merge request to actually load up to actually see it. So I feel like that fits in there. Relationships, so whether it's blocking or linked to other things, that's kind of like giving you context. What's changed, so summaries of discussions and things like that kind of fall in here, and setting the context. So there's merge request descriptions, and any information about the metadata around there. Review, examining changes is like what can be reviewed. So we have images that could be marked on, but there could be other things like large files and things like that. How is a review performed? So this looks at potentially different workflows that could be included here, and diffs, like how do you view the changes and how do you leave feedback on that. Next is acceptance criteria, reviews, rules, and widgets. So approval rules there, MR widgets, like how are the checks displayed there. And then communicate review feedback is all about page updates, refreshing, leaving comments, how we leave comments, and concluding review is essentially how do you get it to the merge state or getting a review MR approved. So those look at those kind of aspects. By grouping things like this, you can see that I also include very technical epics in here, and it kind of fits into the spirit of this small job. So this way, we're actually combining, things that we may have looked at in the past separately between, UI improvements to back-end improvements and kind of looking at them holistically. And this was doable for most of the epics to kind of stick them in there, but there were a few epics that stood out to me. So this one here, like code review all the things in all the places. This is an older epic, and this talks about leaving reviews or comments to things that have already been reviewed, potentially. So more associated to the world of audits and different ways of leaving reviews so that, whether on the line or not it changes, the review stays in line with the original intent. I initially kind of broke it down and stuck them into the different areas, but ultimately I could feel that all these fall in the space of, how to review and examine changes. So changes past kind of fit in here. Like I want to review a past MR, comments around there, or code changes. I can leave that, maybe start a new review from that state. That's kind of where I'm seeing this and how that kind of ties into, prepare a merge request for review. But it starts here, reviewing things that have already been there. So that's kind of my thinking around this one here. There's other things that don't fit nicely into like all the issues and epics of the parent epic don't fit into a nice thing. So in that scenario, for example, the great code review instrumentation epic, in there's 4 open things right now. And if we break it out and look at it, it actually spreads across the breadth of all the different jobs. So we have, should we refactor how we instrument things to all the way down to these 2 things, like leaving emoji metric, commenting on instrumentation on the filtering, all relate to the aspect of communications or on the feedback. So some people leave emojis, some people, some MRs have lots of comments. So these 2 fall under that world. And rebasing to me is something around the conclusion of our merge request. And at this moment here, tracking that metric kind of falls in that aspect more so than other aspects. So there might be some gray areas here, and it's just making a best decision at the time. I did the same things for larger epics such as UX improvements here. So here we can see like create form UX improvements, and then that is in the preparing. And as you can see, this epic here actually had a lot of things in our different areas, or different small jobs that fit in really well. And another one that kind of had a lot of things that kind of fit across the spectrum is AI explorations. There's a lot of ideas that have been raised over the past little while, and by doing this, you kind of surface them rather than lumping them all in one giant epic where it could be hidden. Spreading it out like this kind of exposes everything. So right now, what we have is like an initial mapping where we mapped generally all the epics, some major epics around here, and UX improvements and AI explorations. For planning work, this gives you a good guideline, but I think we can take things a little bit to the next step. And by doing that, is getting towards a blended list so that you could look at things holistically together. So it took the initial mapping and then just removed the little barriers so that it kind of looks like one list. For the AI explorations, to keep track of where they are, because it is a priority for our company to incorporate AI where necessary, is to stamp them using FigJam stamps, so that when I move this around in reorganization later, I can actually highlight or visualize which epics and issues are AI related and which ones are not. So that just keeps me aware of our efforts around there. And if we kind of we took out the spacing, and now we're going to just treat it as one giant list. So we have this blended list now, And the next step here is not to just take all these things blindly and then stick them into a roadmap, but actually an exercise that I think will be really useful is actually to take each of these columns and then actually group them into themes, because you might see interesting patterns that we haven't been able to see in the past because we looked at them or just looked at one epic but not considered other epics that may be related, such as UX improvements, AI, and existing epics. And by looking at all of them holistically under one small job, we can highlight that out. So as an experiment, that is not correct. I'll just grab one of these sections. I'll just make this bigger just for this exercise here. So like I said, everything that's starred is an AI thing. So if I looked at things here, you know, lovable merge and merge conflicts improvements, that's going to be separated. That's separate. That's separate. Rebase, and that's kind of separate. Reverting, okay, that's all separate. Change log, separate. Oh, merge conflicts for AI. Maybe that can be considered together as one little thing. And what is automated merge? So boom. So now by doing that exercise, I've actually been able to connect some AI thoughts that we had in our group with a existing epic, so we can have discussions around, you know, if this is a priority for our group, you know, let's wrap that in the new section. We can move that around and then make that like a priority in like looking at things holistically within this small group. And it's up to the group themselves across, you know, product manager, engineering, design, technical writing, to like understand research to see, you know, where these things actually fall in priority. So if I wrap in everything in, you know, whatever this priority may be, you know, maybe we need to do that first, you know. We can stack rank them, and then that becomes like our list of things that we want to tackle. And then the final exercise is actually to take what we have as our product roadmap that exists right now, and then actually try to map that out into the different columns to identify the work that we're doing to, like, you know, cover the different jobs, and then also to take then a look at when we'll do them. So, you know, do we think we're going to do it in Q3 or Q4 of FY25, or do we think we need to create a new box for thinking about FY26 to like cover some of these things? And this way, when we talk about our work and our vision, we're tying our roadmap to our jobs to be done and measuring our outcomes and success using outcome-driven innovation metrics and scores, which is part of the jobs to be done framework. So this is only a concept right now, and we're going to battle test this over the next few days with the code review team just to see if this works in theory. Yeah, and I'll follow up with that. Thanks. Bye.